Hello, my name is Lisa. This is Where I Sew. You're very welcome. Today I'm not sewing, I'm doing a book review and giving you a practical demonstration of my first go at indigo dyeing using a Japanese method called Shibori. I say the word demonstration as opposed to tutorial because a tutorial would suggest that I know what I'm doing, which would be misleading to say the very, very least. It's my first time out doing this. There's another video in amongst my, what would you call it, catalogue of an expedition fabric shopping in Soho. So I've come across this they called it hand-dyed indigo Japanese cotton, and I just loved it, fell in love. I posted a picture on Facebook and said, this is beautiful, I love it. And a friend said, oh, Shibori, isn't it fabulous? I love it too. Where did you find it? Now, that was the first time I ever realised it had an actual name. So she recommended this book. It's called Shibori, The Art of Indigo Dyeing. It's by Nichola Gouldsmith. It is published by a company called Cico. C-I-C-O. It was $11.99 on Amazon sterling, and I think it's 19 something US dollars. Okay, the technical details, the things you need to know. The actual preparation of the vat of the indigo dye is the most labor intensive part of all of this, and it's such fun. It's wizardry. It's like cooking with colors. Now, what probably stopped me doing any dyeing previously is the amount of things in it that, you know, I'm not going to find either in the cupboards or at B&Q. These are things that are very specific, and I don't know what kind of a shop you'll find them in. But with the joy that is the internet, you can buy all of these strange little bits and pieces very, very easily. So chief amongst them was not only just sourcing the indigo powder, but stuff called spectrolite. It has another name, thero dioxide, and I think its purpose is effectively removing all the oxygen within your indigo dye when you've got it all mixed up, because any indigo, any oxygen that's left in the mixture means that the fabric won't take the dye won't take. And to that end as well, you have to soak the fabric, which will extract all the oxygen out of it as well. Now you have to soak it for about an hour, 2 hours. So you can see there's quite a lot of waiting around for things to develop. The other stuff is soda ash. Now, soda ash raises the pH level. This is another aspect of my impatience. pH balance is important with regards to what fabric you're using, whether it's like silk or animal fibres, or well, I used calico. So the litmus paper hadn't turned up yesterday, so I just thought, to hell with it, I'll just go ahead. So with the result that I'm really happy with the colour that I got, but if I had the right pH balance, maybe it could have been more vibrant. But again, this is all a learning curve for me. In the book there are 25 projects, so, but really about 4 methods of tie-dyeing. Now, tie-dyeing that I was familiar with from my youth was tying bits of string around a piece of cloth and sticking it out, and away she comes. So those are like kind of here as well in the sort of beginners stages. There's the very first one is dip dyeing, and that just creates the most beautiful ombre effect, and it looks so fabulous in the indigo. Just this palest blue to this really intense blue at the end. Isn't that fabulous? I just think that's beautiful. So you go from that to, this was something I'd never seen before, is to get the fabric. And do you remember when you made fans at school and you concertina the fabric or the the paper out the middle of your copybook and pretend you're an 18th century lady. Same theory. And then squish it between two pieces of wood and tie it really, really tight. Stones, you know, the one where you stick a stone in the fabric and tie it up. And then the more advanced areas is this, where you can create a kind of a floral. I think these look like dandelions. That involves tiny running stitches. Now, that is very labour intensive. I can imagine you'll be sat there for ages doing loads of tiny stitches. And then you ruche it all up together. And you create, again, like I suppose, like a resist effect. And you get your floral pattern. So the largest, the longest, the most labour involved in this was actually prepping the dye and all the different processes that it has to go through. So if you're going to do this, carve out at least sort of 7 hours. I started at 9 and I was tidying and finished by about 3 o'clock. Actually dyeing the fabric is very quick. You don't have to leave it soaking for hours and hours or anything like that. It's in, it's out, it's rinsed and it's drying up within about 5 minutes. So that's very satisfying that it's quick and you've got your result, you've got yay. But you have spent quite a bit of time watching things just kind of bubble and change their colour, and it's fascinating, it's really interesting. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things, obviously, like anything, is time goes by and you become more practiced and more confident in it, you'll be able to not do it off the back of your hand, but you'll be more au fait with it, and it'll probably be quicker. It won't feel like as long. The book, the instructions in the book, I found fantastic, very clear. I have watched some YouTube videos, and do you know what? They were okay, but there was a couple of them that were just a little bit unsatisfactory, in as much as there was sort of elements of like what I wanted to know were left out. So what is spectral? There was one that like didn't even say what spectrolite was. So it was great that it explained what all these chemicals were and what they did and how important they were. So overall, I think it's a great book if you just want to get into this. The whole process was very satisfying. It was great fun. We had great weather conditions here yesterday, because it seems that in the process things have to be kept warm, not hot, but just warm. So it was hot and sunny here, and there was jugs with things being processed in it, and they stayed at the same temperature. I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to worry about how much mess I made because it was on the lawn. I was afraid that I was going to dye a large circle of blue on it, but it was really not splashy and messy as I thought it would be. In the winter time, I would imagine that temperatures would make this a bit more finicky and maybe a little bit more unpredictable, because maintaining the warmth of things and the space. I had the whole garden to create havoc in, but do you know what? I wouldn't even think about doing this in my kitchen unless I had wall to ceiling plastic and a full suit on me, so I couldn't. I mean, my hands did get colour on them and it came off quite easily. It's just around my fingernails, like faintly blue, like I've got bad circulation. But apart from that, I came away unscathed, as did my clothes, and yeah, rubber gloves obviously, but some of the water was just like trickling in the inside, but it all came off easily enough in the end. If you're going to do this, you need to concentrate, you need to be focused on it. So I would also strongly urge that you do this when there's nobody else around, so you can maybe swear and scream and shout and kick things. But the method in this book is so straightforward, so easy to follow. that it felt, you know, fairly painless, you know, and I didn't miss out really any essential parts of it. It was really good. I'd strongly recommend it if you're going to have a go at this. So give me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment, watch the rest of this as I scramble my way through. Some of it's photographic because I just doing a hand and dipping and wringing things out, it was just a little bit problematic. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. I do hope you have a go at it. And, you know, just get in there and get messy. Get up to your armpits in it. Enjoy. Come back and see me again soon. Goodbye for now. This is the indigo when it's still in its powder form, and I think it is just the prettiest thing. It's metallic and it's blue and it just glints in the sunlight. This is how I tie-dyed the calico. You can see the different variations of either bits of string or the clothes pegs, bits of stone wrapped in the fabric, all ready to go. This is the indigo when it's processing itself in a jam jar in the sunlight. Just takes about an hour, and you can see everything changing as it goes through its little process. These are some of the utensils that I used. In the end, I didn't need the wooden spoon, but you need quite a few basins and saucepans. To that end, this is the saucepan vat mini cauldron that I got in my high street, and it was perfect just for the amount of calico that I needed to dye, and it wasn't too stained afterwards. So this is the, this is the solution after it's been left to develop. Also a little interesting bits of bubbles going off. It's the prettiest metallic blue. So now, according to my book, this is what I must do, and it's very important not to get oxygen into any of this mixture. So we're not pouring it in, we're going to, this is the first time I've done this, lads, so here goes nothing. Lower it in, mustn't be any splashing, no splashing. Whoa, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, the Wicked Witch of the West is going to turn up. So I'm just tipping it out. Now I have to admit at this point that because I am cursed with terrible impatience, I didn't wait for my litmus papers to arrive to check the pH balance. I've got this tipped up completely underneath the water now, it's submerged. So I really don't know if this solution is going to work with my calico over there. But like I said, this is the first time out for me. Oh, I've got a mess on my finger. I'm trying not to disturb it all too much. See, that's going to splash, isn't it? Oh, gently, gently, gently. There you go. I don't want to splash. Don't want to splash. Oh, sugar. Cover it now for an hour. See what happens. Oh, I hope I haven't buggered it up. Come back in an hour. Okay, so I have my indigo vat prepared. One clean bowl of water, and that last bowl of water is for rinse, the final rinse, and it's got some vinegar in it. I haven't got enough hands to actually film the dipping and the dyeing, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the finished results, whatever they may be. Okay, see you in a bit. Here's the finished product. You can't really see that one, the shadows from the, oh, I just did it with little stones. Got a ripple effect on this one. Yeah. And now all I've got to do is clean this mess up.